Drawing deepened man's preoccupation with nature from the Renaissance to the Enlightenment and drove the development of modern science. But this wasn't a purely European phenomenon. As the 18th century turned into the 19th, the new world of America was eager to mark its territory and put its wildlife on the map. One of the first people to take on this challenge wasn't a trained artist, but a highly accomplished frontiersman, a man who found an unshakable inspiration in the forestation of North America, staking out the landscape day after day, eagle-eyed, looking high into the trees and the skies. His name was John James Audubon.
Audubon was an impulsive, larger-than-life character and a bit of a compulsive liar. He was actually born Jean-Jacques Audubon, the illegitimate son of a French merchant and a Creole chambermaid. But that didn't stop him putting about the rumour that he was in fact descended from Dauphinoise royalty. He was sent to America when he was 18 to oversee his father's estate, Mill Grove, near Philadelphia, which proved a big mistake as he squandered the family fortune on what he loved most, going out with his gun, shooting birds and then drawing them. In fact, anyone who wanted to meet him on business was told they'd have to go and track him down in the woods, so consumed was he by his bird obsession.
Bankrupted, unsurprisingly, in 1819, Audubon threw himself into compiling a massive work of ornithology, The Birds of America. He spent 20 years making these amazingly ornate drawings of every bird under the New World sun, selling engraved prints made from his watercolour and ink originals to a keen band of subscribers. Ironically, everyone in America thought he was mad, so he had to travel to Britain to find both printer and patrons. And in a British collection at the Natural History Museum in Tring, I had a rare chance to get face to beak with some of his models. Audubon was an enthusiast for nature, but unsentimental. He killed so that he could draw, and then sold the preserved birds when money was tight.
So these are Audubon's actual own specimens?
That's right, prepared by Audubon's own fair hand. Yep. He was a prolific shooter. He said himself that a day when he shot fewer than 100 birds was a bad day.
Have they preserved their colours?
The only colours that do change are what's called the soft parts, which are the hard parts, the legs, the area around the bill colour, the eyelids. They change sometimes within hours of the bird actually dying. And this is why when Audubon was actually doing his drawings, he would use freshly killed specimens. He wouldn't actually draw unless he could help it, and time was getting precious towards the end of the project. But unless he could help it, Audubon wouldn't actually work from skins at all. He would work from freshly shot birds.
Was that the freshly shot bird is
still bleeding?
It's still bleeding, and it's the most accurate. It's the most accurate version of a bird that you can get. I mean.
Yeah, in terms of the colours. Yeah.
No amount of reproduction, and Audubon's drawings are among the most reproduced artworks in American history, could ever compete with seeing the Birds of America as it was originally issued. In keeping with the project's vast ambition, Audubon insisted that every bird must be depicted life-size, so the pictures were printed on 30 by 40-inch sheets, a size known in the trade as double elephant. Audubon chose to open the series with a majestic drawing of the wild turkey. It was, in effect, a mission statement. He believed this was the most noble of all America's birds, a potent symbol of the nation's grandeur. Look out, world, it says. The turkey has landed.
There's another turkey. This is the female, and this is the family, female and the chicks. It only just fits into the page margins.
But isn't that part of the power of it? That he's,
oh, yeah.
Page placement is very important, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
It's a huge page, and he's only just managed to squeeze it all in.
This is wonderful, this detail down here. And,
you get a very strong sense from this of Audubon's feeling for the profusion of unspoilt American nature,
yeah.
that there's just something going on everywhere.
But also, though, of course, he's showing the underside of the head.
He's showing the underside of the bird, the growing feathers on the wing. He's trying to put across some ornithological knowledge here. He's showing them where the feathers are all growing at once with the feather sheaths. So even though he's chosen a composition that shows a lot of drama in a family of turkeys in the wild, yeah, he is showing a lot of ornithological detail as well, getting as much information across as he can.
Looking at these works in all their flamboyant detail, it strikes me that Audubon shines as a dramatic artist as much as a natural historian. He's a master storyteller. He wants to convey something of the bloodiness of nature, red in tooth and claw. It's not simply about rigorously cataloguing wildlife. He's mythologizing it.
I love this detail of the feather,
I like that,
just
yeah.
suspended in space. It's such a daring detail, isn't it?
Yeah.
And yet it's so beautifully observed. It sort of somehow it conveys the violence of the scene more than the actual blood dripping. You know, these feathers are still flying. It's tremendous. I mean, is he inventing ornithological art as he's doing it, or is he working within an established set of conventions?
Oh, no, this sort of thing hadn't been done before. Beforehand, they were good illustrations, but they were there to show what the birds look like. And that's all, and maybe they'd be put in, a little bit of a landscape. But the beauty of Audubon was that he did more than he had to. He didn't have to do this life size. He didn't have to put in all this extra detail. He took enormous risk. He did it for the sake of just wanting the thing to exist.
Wanting it to be majestic, wanting it to be by John James Audubon and worthy of the great man. Can we look at another one?
Sure.
I want to look at all of them.
There's 3 more volumes after this one.
Audubon's grand project came to a close in 1839. This is one of the few remaining copies of the work in its entirety. On publication, it was so unaffordable that less than 200 sets were printed. 5 years ago, one sold at auction for almost $9 million. The Birds of America was a lifetime's work that embodied the romantic notion of America as some kind of unspoiled Eden. Audubon spoke of seeing divinity in the startling beauty of America's wildlife. Perhaps he felt that the rich variety of the birds he painted, across 435 huge pages, was vivid proof that his adopted homeland was indeed God's own country.